Hi everyone, it's Ardith, and today I'm part of the Pretty Pink Posh April release blog hop. Details of the hop are on my blog post, which is linked in the description below. This release contained 4 stencils, and I've made 6 cards using the wide line stencil to create backgrounds, before using a variety of the rest of the new goodies to finish the cards. Of course, the simplest way to use this stencil is to blend ink through it. I chose 3 colors of ink and a large blending brush. I taped my panel of white cardstock to the back of the stencil and added some post-it tape to help keep it flat on the white panel. And then I just went over the whole thing with the inks, overlapping the colors to get a good blend. I added a doubled up panel as my focal point. The base has the same 3 colors blended smoothly, and then the top has the new Congrats script die cut out 3 times. I added some of the new Berry Burst Mix jewels for some sparkle. Next, I did some partial ink blending with green ink. I started in the center of my panel and I blended in circles from the center outwards, fading the ink out towards the edges. When I had that finished, I picked up the stencil and I turned it 90 degrees before repeating the ink blending in circles to create a gingham pattern. This gingham created the perfect backdrop for my focal point without adding a layer. I popped up a Copic colored flower and some leaves from the new Peonies set, and I stamped the Happy Mother's Day sentiment from the Mother's Day set. Next, I did a couple of examples of selective blending. There's no rule that says you have to use the whole stencil. I taped the stencil to my panel and then I masked off the areas I didn't want any ink on with post-it tape. Because I wanted crisp stripes of color with no blending, I used my little sponge daubers to apply the ink this time, working through 4 colors of ink: pink, orange, yellow, and green. I colored the giraffe from Animal Signs with matching colors of Copic markers, and I gave him a balloon and sentiment from the Elephant Friends set. Next, I made a more subtle color choice, and I got out some light gray ink. This time I masked the portion in the center of the panel to create some clear space for my focal image and sentiment. Then I blended the gray ink over the remainder of the panel, doing my best to get it even without putting down too much color. I got out some Nouveau Glimmer Paste in Moonstone along with my palette knife, and I spread it all over the exposed areas of the panel where the gray ink was visible. This is only the 2nd or 3rd time I've done this, and it's really easy to work with this product. It is important to clean up quickly afterwards, but wow, look at that sparkle! The soft gray ink gives the sparkle a bit more definition than if I had used the glimmer paste alone. I added the vase of flowers from the new Mother's Day set and a sentiment from Elephant Friends to finish this card. Next, you're going to wonder what I'm doing, since for this technique I started with another one of the new stencils, the leaf stencil. All will be clear in a moment. I started by blending green ink through the leaves onto my panel. When it was completely covered, I laid the striped stencil over top of the leaf stencil, and I blended some darker green ink through that. Of course, I didn't get the full stripes, but this gives the leaves some extra texture and interest. And to make it even leafier, I turned my cardstock panel and I repeated the whole process. Lighter green ink through the leaf stencil and then darker ink through the striped stencil. This gave me a unique background that was rich in color. I masked and blended 2 of the leaves onto a sentiment strip and added that same sentiment from Elephant Friends, along with 3 pink jewels from the new Berry Burst mix. Next up, I used a technique that one of my teammates, Dana, showed me. This time I started with a panel that was already blended with rainbow colors. I placed the stencil over top and I put some post-it tape down the center, since I'm going to try 2 different methods for this one. On the left side, I went back in with the same inks, blending more ink over top of what was already there. I was pretty generous with the ink and pretty heavy-handed because I didn't want the effect to be too subtle. On the right side, I took a baby wipe and I wiped away some of the color of this water-reactive ink. I got a little too enthusiastic with this, forgetting that it takes time for the change to happen, and I ended up ruining areas of the paper by getting them too wet. But I still had enough for a 1/2-inch strip to use on my card. This time I built a tower of elephants from Elephant Friends, and I performed some stamp surgery on what appears to be my favorite new sentiment to match the image I created. Since I had both strips, I made 2 cards the same. I love that tone-on-tone look, and I'm really thankful to Dana for the inspiration. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments below. I'd also love to hear what your favorite product is from the release. I think this release has a great mix of basics that would work in any craft room, and also unique, beautiful images and die cuts that make this release really special. Be sure to go to my blog and hop along and comment for your chance to win. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe for even more inspiration. All of the new products are available now in the Pretty Pink Posh shop. Product links are below and also on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.